to the Dragon Show that's Dragon Affair together. I'm Xander. This is Alkali.
I'm not here!
And we're here at MFF 2019.
To introduce our fellow panelists, ladies and gentlemen, you've known him for many things that we do. He's one of the funniest people we've ever met. Also, he's rooming with us and his farts do not smell like roses. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Chris the Comedy Bunny!
That's the thing now. I built a fort and you chose that.
Dude, we're going to bring up the fort that you built in my room later.
Okay, fair.
To my right! Yeah, my look to my right for once. It's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, he knows the law better than... Trail off your sentence here. Ladies and gentlemen, Boozy
So anyway, usually we start with a con theme, but there is none. So...
Wait, are they back to no con theme here?
It's kind of
Birthday theme.
What's the theme?
It's a birthday.
It's a birthday theme!
It's their 20th
Oh, so
year.
it's a birth. So basically, no one should have shown up and we should cry in the corner? Don't honor that! I didn't get birthday parties!
We can still do bozo buckets. Oh, what's that? What is that?
It's apparently cool. Alright, so we just found one of the room keys. I believe it's supposed to be a wolf exhaling his breath into the cold winter air. But all I see is a wolf who just took a hit. And they've decided to put that on the room key because January 1st is going to be a great day in Illinois.
We can slowly stop using the thing on the shirt over there as a
I'm sorry.
code.
I don't care how long it takes. We are going to change the name of cannabis to Fizzy Cherry Cola. It's just so much more festive. We could have polar bears. I want to see the commercial for legalizing marijuana with stoner polar bears. Just zooming in on the mom who can't put up with the kids anymore.
Polar bears do not advertise for marijuana, sir.
Just polar bears do coke.
Oh,
That explains why they have a stock market up there and everything.
That's
It really
absolutely
does, yeah.
right. Oh my God. How did the show start? Average.
Yeah, it's all right. So usually we start with the theme, but we were just talking up in our room, and I don't even know how to go into this. Do you want to go into this?
I don't remember what we were talking
All
about.
right, you want to go into this?
which one? There's like 3 or 4 things.
All right, so back in the day, we were reflecting on how back in the 90s, there was a good guy pimp
Oh,
who
that's
everybody
right.
loved in the WWF. And it's just kind of weird. You remember, like, Godfather? And you're like,
Oh, well, we have some wrestling fans in the
Yeah.
audience. If you're a wrestling fan, give us a round of applause.
I'm a fan of wrestling fans. That's
I'm
where I
I'm
land.
also a fan.
Yes.
of wrestling. Xander actually got me into wrestling. It was a wonderful experience. And then all of a sudden, there was a match where somebody bled a lot, and I wasn't okay with that. So now he has to pre-watch the wrestling matches for me, or I go inside and just make dinner.
so,
Like a beaten wife.
oh no! Jesus Christ!
Sorry. Family memories.
Okay.
When you double down on set, it gets funny.
So we're going on about this, the Godfather character, and just how weird and it is to have like, oh, everybody loves this pimp. He's the ultimate good guy.
Well, yeah, he was a fun pimp. He wasn't a heel at all. He was like, yeah. So, you know how it goes. We start riffing back and forth, and somehow we invented the character of the woke pimp.
Yeah. Oh, it's well pimp.
I believe Xander had, what was it? Oh, yeah. My bitches are so hot.
I gotta teach him about climate change. And he's totally about equal worker rights and everything.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Everybody with 401k.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really good.
All my bitches get health care.
Yo, remember, my bitches, universal basic bitch income.
That's right. UBI.
UBBI.
UBDI, I believe in it.
And then it's almost like, hey, why are you calling them all bitches? Bitches stands for beautiful, intelligent, thoughtful, caring hoes. So it's okay.
Ooh, that's a cool water stream.
You meet him in an alleyway, he's like, yo, we teach evolution.
That one was killing me because it's just like, oh, that too? Okay, yeah, that's good.
I just kind of imagine hooking up with your hooker, like you do. And you're in the bedroom and you look up at her and she's like, on Darwin Island, there are 37 different breeds of finches, which proves evolution exists. Do me. Let's further the gene pool.
Wait. Oh, wait. You said 37 different beings.
Species. Sorry.
Which proved evolution exists.
I've been drinking. How are you?
I've never seen someone typo while speaking.
Have we not had a conversation prior to this?
I just have to picture what the episodes of Woke Pimp would be. It would be like, Daddy, Clarissa thinks that the world is flat.
What?
Not on my watch.
My bitches don't believe in flat worlds or flat chests. Neither. And this is what we were doing at 3 in the morning last night.
Yeah, that's about right.
So to continue the story, today, a very good friend of mine on staff here at Midwest Fur Fest asked, hey, Alkali, what's your room number? And I told him, and he said, oh, that explains a lot. I'm like, why? He says, we're neighbors. I'm like, oh, were we too loud? He's like, a little, but that's okay, because I'm really in the mood for bitches today. Lone bitches. The walls here are paper thin.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
I went upstairs before this panel to use the bathroom.
Oh no.
Bad start, bad start.
I was sitting in my room doing my thing when my spouse sent me a text message and said, oh, they're having fun next door. Here's what we heard through the walls. Oh, 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 oh. And then a completely different voice, completely deafening, went, my God, I can't stop watching.
Holy shit.
I bet they were surprised when I yelled out, neither can I!
Stupid list. Yes, please. Okay.
So continuing this conversation, we were trying to go to bed, and it gets quiet, and then I start giggling, and then I start giggling a lot more, and then I start laughing.
Middle of the night, dead quiet. At first I don't know how to do this, so somebody help me out here. As you started, because you didn't chortle, you didn't chuckle, the first noise you made was,
Yeah, just
and then, I'm like, all right, I think my roommate is jerking off. But then the next noise that came out, like, oh no, he's crying. So now I am laying in bed, wondering if it is appropriate to stay in an empty room. Are you okay?
and I'm just like, and then it turns into a full guffaw, and then I just hear Alkali go, what the hell did you see? And I was like, I didn't see anything. I just remembered something I said earlier today. And he's like, tell me. You need to tell me.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, so I was just sitting there as people were walking by, like you do, and sometimes stuff falls out of my mouth. Weird stuff. It is really bad. But this person walks by and they go, man, I just want kids. And I just go, yeah, man, me too. But I'm on this stupid list. Oh.
And I'm just like, dude. It's like,
No, you did not say dude. We had a moment of silent you thought about it.
yes.
Contemplation, that's a word. And what did you say?
I don't know, help me out, Chris.
Oh, you're like, never mind your existential crisis. I have this killer bit.
Yeah. He's just like, oh, never mind, you're burying your soul. I have to shit on you right now.
You guys don't understand. It's like kind of funny. I know you're hurting right now because you're infertile.
Let's be honest. It's kind of.
But like, trust me, dude, you will chuckle.
You will chuckle.
So we got Patreon questions. And this is why you shouldn't support us. Anyway, Draco
You
Silverclaw.
guys are so amazing. Hi, Draco.
What was the most bland recipe you had to follow? That'd be for you.
The most bland recipe I had to follow?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to just go with ice in general, which I fixed, by the way.
Nice.
Turns out you can freeze a lot of different kinds of alcohols. You really can. It also turns out, and my brother found this out the hard way, that if your parents keep alcohol in the freezer, and you're young and stupid and drink the alcohol, but then refill it with water, they catch on very quickly. So that was the most bland recipe, but it was a hysterical night for me.
Nice. All right, we gotta go quick. Skylar Ringtail.
Hi, Skylar, I was drinking.
Yes. Winter has come early in the Midwest. What are some ways to keep your spirits and body temperature up during the cold, dark winter months?
Self-immolation.
That's pretty short-sighted.
I fix problems. I don't handle lasting issues.
Honestly, something I would recommend to all of you, kind of a diet, I wouldn't say diet recipe, I just don't know how to say it. Not a lot of people do this one anymore. Mulled wine. Oh my God, a good mulled, M-U, and other letters. Yeah, that. There's 2 L's in that shit? Guys, it's fancy now.
It's mulled, not muled.
The mulled wine.
I think it tastes like ass.
So here's a little piece of advice for you. Mulled wine you make by putting a bunch of spices into cheesecloth and putting it in the wine and simmering it. What you don't do is take all the spices and just kind of haphazardly throw them into the pot and then attempt to drink it when you are already drunk because you will just start coughing cinnamon.
What's your recipe for boiled wine?
It's just a tip.
It's not cheesecloth.
All right. My recommendations for staying warm in the cold, honestly, robes. I love robes. Robes everywhere. I don't want to get out of my robe. I threw just a fucking coat over my robe and went to Target. I don't care anymore.
Incorrect.
What?
You had your coat, then my hoodie, then your robe, and then the burner robe. Would you like to explain to them the burner robe, you genius of a dragon, you?
Oh, the burner robe. The burner robe is what happens when you don't realize your robe's on fire. And you walk in front of the heater that's in the garage that's keeping you warm, and you forget that it's there. So,
I did not know this happened. We have a coat rack in the house because I am lazy and fancy. And we have robes hanging from this coat rack, and I grabbed a random robe because it was cold. And I noticed a giant hole in the back where his ass should be. So first off, I made assumptions that we were going to be having fun later. Turns out he set it on fire.
the gentleman's SPH? What are you talking about? This is ridiculous.
The gentleman's SPH, and as usual, like using too many SPHs, eventually it will burn.
So yeah, I walked in front of the stupid gas burner and it caught, and I think I put it out in time, and basically it creates a night. It all just it crispies away, so you get a really cool Castlevania cloak over your regular robe, and it's really good. And then you can go into Target and buy whatever you need.
Like a real homeless person.
Like a stupid modern Jedi.
Like, well, just a Jedi.
Well, yeah, Jedi. They figured it out, right? They're like, oh, this is our thing. This is part of our religion. We wear robes everywhere. We're always comfortable.
Now I know why I love those movies.
I must have missed the part of The Empire Strikes Back where Obi-Wan cut the ass out of Luke's robe.
You definitely did. That was called The Empire Strikes Back movie.
All right, next question. Shally,
Hi, Shally.
what is something you consider yourself good at that not many people know about? Oh God. We've exploited most of our talents.
Yeah. If you're good at something, try to figure out a way to make a very small amount of money out of it. That's the best way to put it. Boozy, you haven't answered one in a while, and I need to stall. What's your answer?
Hey, you want to
I can shove 4 quarters in each nostril.
Oh no.
Why do you know this?
Don't ask how I know. Just accept the fact that I have had reason to learn this.
Oh, what's this? Oh, thank you so much. Oh no, it's a woke pimp in his hose. Woke pimp in his hose. Thank you. Holy shit. All right.
I'm good at juggling, but I don't do anything with it.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
Fucking sweet. Yeah, that's right. You're all into that stuff. What else are you like? Other clown stuff, right?
Yeah, I know a lot about clown history, I guess, but I never...
Well, like apparently we learned in pie history. We went to the pie panel, which was awesome, by the way.
That was very good.
Apparently, people hired Mo everywhere to throw pies because he was the best pie thrower anywhere.
Wait, can we rewind? There was a pie panel?
Yeah, it was great.
There was a pie panel.
And no one told me.
Boozy, there was a standing room only pie panel.
Shut up, you whore.
It was great. It was super great. I was so happy.
I thought we were friends.
Okay, I gotta go through all these questions. Sorry. What's your favorite genre of music? Do you have any?
Who asked that?
Oh, sorry. Shukin Flash.
Hey, Shukin.
What's your favorite genre of music? Do you have a favorite song from that genre?
So, genre music gets hard because it really depends on what I'm doing at the time. I don't know who introduced it. It was somebody in my house would just have it on in the background, and now it's one of the few things I listen to while playing City Skylines is synthwave. Synthwave is ridiculously fun at times, and I found one that is Stranger Things synthwave.
Oh, no.
And it just makes me feel like I'm playing D&D in the 80s, which is bad because D&D has a lot of mazes, and my road structure has gone a little hectic. It's like an ant colony where we want the queen to die.
I think I know why you're doing synthwave because you're creating your dystopian city.
No, when I do the dystopia, whenever I build the industrial district, I like to put on, what's the band that you showed me?
Industrial?
Oh no, it wasn't you that showed me, it's John. Apparently there's like Viking hardcore music with authentic... Hey, no, it's not Hailstorm. Viking, yeah, kind of Viking death metal, but basically there's just a guy out there chanting, and I'm building all this dirty industrial, like, yeah, this is what the Vikings would be doing, soap factories.
Have you seen Mongolian death metal?
I will when I go home.
They do the Mongolian in there as well, yeah.
I was
know,
just-
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying, I was just telling Xander about how I went to a house show probably like 10 years ago now in my hometown. And a dude was like, dude, I'm running this show out of my basement. Come check it out. And I was like, yeah, sure, sounds good. And I went there and they had a trash can full of jungle juice and a bunch of angry people headbutting, proving that they were cool. And then like, they were like, all right, guys, here comes the metal band. It's going to be nuts. And I'm like, all right, here it comes. This is going to be cool. And then they come out. And I'm like, all right. And they're all like, we're like Satan's fist punch or whatever. And then a dog comes out, just like a regular bulldog. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, but I get it. We're in a basement. That's not too impossible. And then the dog gets a little tiny mic. And I go, oh man, this is a bit, right? And then the dog starts singing as the band starts playing, and it's just a dog barking into a mic while I'm in a basement while a bunch of angry white dudes slam their heads together. And I'm like, I think I'm the only one who acknowledges what's going on right now. And it was great.
It's like this is art and no one realized.
Yeah, no, it was magic.
This is a portrait of our times.
I'm so happy right now.
Oh, by the way, I got the name of the band, High Lung. H-E-I.
Thank you.
Lung.
I love it.
Yeah,
Okay.
they do like songs like Ankle Leg, which is what we call it. They just
We do not just call it that. They have a song that's in, I'm guessing Nordic. I have no idea. But the words sound like ankle leg. So I'm sitting in the garage, listening to this music, just kind of hanging out and chilling. I turn around, and Nico is behind me, dancing on one foot, pointing, ankle leg, ankle leg. This is my wife. I love my roommates.
Oh, he's around.
No way, he's here.
Yeah. All right. Status of Ferret.
Hi, Status.
How do you feel about My Chemical Romance getting back together for one more concert?
Hold on. Shrooms got together for a concert? What's
My Chemical Romance.
They're a white boy wine music from like the aughts.
Yeah.
Okay, so I understood a few of those words. Help me out here.
Did they do
It is something young, sad Caucasian males listen to at the turn of the 21st century.
I literally just said that.
I translated it out loud.
It was very helpful. Is this the look down at the ground and slightly move your hips dancing?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my jam. It still kind of is. I love white boy wine music.
Oh, that's one?
I think so.
Oh, when I was
Yeah, a young boy.
These lyrics are so easy to mimic.
Yeah, that's the
Turn
one.
into anything.
I love that song, man. That was my life. It's so important. It represented my soul or whatever.
I understand. That was Linkin Park for me.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's
Yeah.
fucking beautiful.
Okay, did all of us up here have that moment? Because I think this is semi-universal. That when you're younger and you think that you finally figured out the world, you haven't, by the way. Young people, you're as dumb as we were, cut it out.
It's great.
But that day that you think you figured out the world and you found that thing that really connects with you, that song. What was your song? You just had it? What was yours?
Oh, mine was not Black Parade, but to be honest, as sarcastic and ironic as I enjoyed it, I pretty much on repeat would listen to anything by Simple Plan. Mostly because anything that Simple Plan was, it was literally just like, nobody likes me, everybody hates me, how come everyone thinks I'm such a nerd? And it's great, because it's just some shitty white boy with an acoustic guitar complaining about how his dad took away his car. And it's my favorite.
Oh, Jesus. Boozy,
You
you?
remember your song?
I got mine.
What is yours?
All right, for me, I got into Simon Garfunkel and I listened to rock, which is all about being happy and reading books and being alone, and that's cool. But I didn't realize they were being ironic about it. So I'm just like, yeah, that sounds great. I can just be alone and be happy. And no, I didn't realize like they're like, no, get outside, you fucking nerd. All right, I said that.
Oh, I've sworn so many times.
All right.
Do you remember yours?
Yes.
Oh no.
Now mine was Jackson Brown Stay.
Really?
Oh wow.
My voice is gone, I can't do that.
That's like one of the gimmick voice songs that always make me mad. Like they figured something out to how to capitalize on a stupid voice gimmick. Just like how everyone in the 90s was like, it's like everybody did that. Pissed me off.
The mumble. It was mumble rock.
Yeah, man. All right, I should move on.
Moving on.
All right.
Really blew your mind, didn't it?
Anyway, Eggman. Oh Jesus.
Hi, Eggman. Sorry, I didn't see.
No, it's
didn't say
okay.
the name.
What are your tips for eating well during the holiday season? Don't.
Don't even try. You know what? If you want to eat well during the holiday season, eat the tree. It's probably the healthiest thing in your house post-Christmas. So we just recently held Friendsgiving at my house. Friendsgiving is something that me and some of my close friends who live locally do every year because some of us grew up and we don't do a lot with our families anymore. And this is our way of having a night that we get to do whatever we want. So we played like 20 games of Slap Cup and burnt a turkey, but whatever. But the thing was, I bought so much food that by the time it was over, inside the fridge was nothing but carcinogens and carbs. The top shelf was crushed White Castle stuffing, crushed because we put the lasagna on top of it. Underneath that was a second tray of White Castle stuffing and vegetarian lasagna, and by vegetarian I mean I forgot to put the meat in. Underneath that was an entire ham that we forgot existed.
Just need a cup of pulled pork.
But the best part about it was the day that we always have the menu planned. We know exactly what we're going to eat, exactly what we're going to buy. But this is after the real Thanksgiving. So what happens in stores after the real Thanksgiving?
Christmas shit goes up.
Besides that nonsense. Sales. Sales. I found a baby's worth of ham. It was a package this size.
Alkali, you know we have real measurements, right? You don't have to just do baby values.
I would like
You weird yenta.
You know, Chris, as a performer yourself, I know that both of us try to make this world a better place. And don't you think it would be better if everything was measured in babies?
No, I get it.
No!
If you go to Costco, you know you can buy a toddler-sized thing of jam, right?
Samuel, we have so much jam!
Alright.
Toddler jam!
Duh.
Well, I purchased a baby-sized thing. It was 3 pork shoulders, 4 pork loins, 10 pork chops, all wrapped up. And it was labeled as like a little under $100, on sale for $20. And I'm a Jew. So my thought process was, well, we don't need to eat it today. I'll just put it in the freezer. But I forgot, I have roommates who like Hot Pockets. So there's no room in my freezer. The day before we left for MFF, for Miko, who stayed behind for an extra day, I cooked 4 pounds of pulled pork, 4 pork loins, 10 pork chops, and handed him a tray and said, here's your lunch for tomorrow. And then I left.
I just gotta point something out. You're Jewish enough to capitalize on a deal on ham, but not Jewish enough to not eat ham.
Also, I have a question. I have a follow-up question of it.
We were all thinking.
Xander, I'm just Jew-ish now.
Ish.
Uncle, I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
This goes for anyone who uses the term Friendsgiving. What exactly about thanks is exclusive to blood relation? Just curious.
Because when I was young, I had one of those families that would go around the table and say, so what are you thankful for? And I was the douchebag who one year said that I only have to answer this question once a year.
You know how you don't give a body back to Thanksgiving?
What's that?
When they ask that question, you say CPS.
There's 3 different letters. DNR.
Alright, let's see a question here. Tyro.
Hi, Tyro.
What's some advice you would give your question masters or people as a whole? What the? Tyro.
Come on. It's just general advice.
Yeah.
Think before you do.
Hey, there you go.
Look, this was one my parents tried to pull on me and it didn't work when I was a kid, but as an adult, super helpful. If you want to do something and you're not sure, wait 10 seconds and see if you still want to do it. If you've had second thoughts, it's a terrible idea. Get out of that relationship. What?
Anyway.
It's not this
Oh,
one.
I got one. It's nice.
Go ahead.
Never do anything, never make any decision or really talk to anyone past 3 a.m. Any single thought, idea, concept, or thing you are thinking about is a total fucking fake out by your own mind. Don't do it. Whatever you're thinking, whatever you want to say to someone, don't. It's not worth it after 3 o'clock in the morning.
Cannabis Slurpees are chewy.
Yeah. Okay.
You should know that.
My general advice is don't give your existential crises in the hotel lobby at MFF when Chris is around. I guess. It's very specific.
No, I'll make you chuckle. It'll be worth it.
Oh, okay.
It's a really good bit, man.
Yeah, it's really killer.
Boozy?
Climb every mountain, dream every dream, and establish a safe word well in advance.
All right. Alturus.
Poor bananas are going to keep going.
I'm gonna do another Patreon question. Alturus,
Hey, Alturus.
how many eggs do you need to make the perfect THC-infused lemon curd?
Yeah, dude.
I guess we'll have to find out.
4. It's still B4 because canna butter is the best.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. The butter.
Simple
No, it
answer.
works. It's all in the butter. It's
Okay.
all in the butter.
There you go. Okay, wheat thins.
Hey, Wheat Thins. I absolutely love everyone in the audience. Like, for a moment, there was no laughter. So in my mind, you all wrote that down. Just so you know. Whatever joke bombs, I assume that you guys are taking notes.
Is wheat thins over here?
Hi, Wheat Thins. He gave me the spicy mead.
Who were your most disliked group of kids in your high school? Oh man, that's a good question.
Me?
You? No.
I mean, I was the most disliked kids. I was part of the corner kids.
Wait. Was this in the yearbook? There's like a selfie picture. Most disliked kid.
I was in the corner kids, and we were all made fun of. So the general school disliked us the most.
Jesus. Okay.
I'm fairly certain my high school planned it out this way so that all the awesome nerds who joined clubs would actually help out all the cool kids. Because we found out that if AV, library, front office staff, and computer lab staff all put our keys together, we had access to the Scantron grading machine.
Oh no.
I thought you were going to go
Like
with
a
some
weird
kind of
Voltron.
planet, but I'm glad you were very good.
By our powers combined, you might get a passing grade.
That's the way to keep the peace, basically.
Yes, no, it worked really well. Like, we weren't popular, but we could get you the answers for tests, which were never right, because we had a teacher who claimed, this is an actual line from my history class, Scantron is God. It didn't matter what you did, if the Scantron said it was wrong, you had no recourse. So we put that to the test, and in a show of amazing solidarity, for one test in this history class, we just took our pencil and went, and everyone got every question wrong. It was like, so, who's your God now?
Nice.
I'm sorry, if Pepper were here, he could tell you. A good teacher is able to deal with a student that can't pass his class. A bad teacher has every student fail, and we were trying for that.
Very nice. All right, we got one more question. Erner.
Hey, hi, Erner.
Hi, Erner. Okay, the decade is almost over.
The what?
The decade.
Okay.
How do you celebrate the end of the 2010s Dragon Show?
Well, we already went over what's happening midnight, December 31st, so I think I've answered that.
That's true.
A chewy smoothie.
Oh.
That's right, brought back the bad joke.
But anything, Boozy? How are you gonna?
Am I going to celebrate the end of the 2010s?
Yeah.
Likely by making my children question their self-worth.
Oh my God.
Brutal.
I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry, but you want an explanation.
No, that should be good. I'm left wondering, and that's the best part. All good horror leaves you wondering.
Just stare at the whole, like, 10 years ago you didn't exist.
God damn it.
you caused so many existential crises.
Yes! He gave me nightmares. This is a fact. Does everyone know the story real quick?
No, I don't know this story.
Okay. Boozy.
I'm not sure I know this.
Okay. You were telling spooky stories.
Oh, yeah!
Yes!
Instead of like these spooky supernatural stories, here's Boozy. Here's a real axe murder that happened in 1921.
That we haven't caught.
Yeah. And at the end of and they never caught who did it either.
You
Good night, kids.
All right, you need to understand something. Basement Con, could you describe the location of Basement Con? You did so well.
It's in the acid of nowhere. Like you try, like, okay, act like you're going to Anthrocon, but when you get to Pittsburgh, just like take a fucking right and go to Canada. Because you are in the middle of nowhere. Like, literally, it shows up and it says you're in New York, and then it says, wait, no, you're in Pennsylvania. And the reason they say this is there's a dirt road with no lights going between two mountains to a large chunk of nothing but woods and a lodge in the middle of it. On the left-hand side of the road, you are in Pennsylvania. On the right-hand side of the road, you are in New York. And all around the cabin, axes.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Weapons on the walls.
There were 3 rusty saw blades sitting by the front door.
Pointing them out to your children immediately. You are the ultimate Darwin aficionado.
It's like there's the lodge, which looks okay, and then there's this really rundown, ramshackle building right next to it, right? My kids got out of the car, looked at the lodge, and immediately started walking to the ramshackle building. Like, that looks like the Daniel put us up there. And the other place looks like it's habitable and damn cheap, so.
Well, it's the middle of the night. Boozy has material telling scary lawyer stories. It's pitch black out. There's there's only starlight and the light of a fire.
There is no television, there is no telephone, there are no streetlights, and there is no internet access.
And no witnesses.
No witness.
Well,
That's on the brochure.
as we're sitting there listening to these stories, Sue, our friend, who is sitting around the fire, staring into the flames, with nothing but tall grass behind her, we all see Sue kind of sit up. The hairs on the back of her neck, obviously sensing something. And then we all hear it. Sue jumps off of the log that she's sitting on, screams and turns around. There was a deer this far from her that just wanted to hear some scary shit. And the best part was when we jumped, the deer barely, it's just like, okay, cool, and kind of trotted off into a ditch.
It went to New York.
New York.
That was a great night.
It was. That place was scary.
Your voice was wonderfully scary. Boozy, what were the DVDs that we had access to? They left them for
Oh,
us.
yes, we had no internet, we had no TV. We did have a DVD player and 3 DVDs. We had Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers,
Yep.
the extended cut of Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World, and Volume 2 of Season 2 of Duck Dynasty. There were 8 different remotes. None of the remotes went to the DVD player and the TV. We don't know why they were there, but they didn't work. We could not figure out how to get it past the opening screen, so we spent like 30 minutes just listening to the background music for the opening screen of Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World. Then one of my kids went, "Is there a play button?" We spent an hour and a half looking for a light switch.
We're not good at this.
No. And then when we get there, there's like the guys trying to show us around, like, now there's big fences around there. Do not touch those fences. Because they have freaking cows walking around.
Don't go to the right, there's a pond, you may drown in it. Don't go to the left. If you go too far to the left, when you walk out the back, you're trying to come across the cows behind the fence. Now, everybody thinks cows are nice, but they're not.
If you go into the woods, wear orange.
The best part I got was, he's like, and the cow pasture is surrounded by an electric fence. And then he got a faraway look in his eyes. Like he stared off into the middle distance between Alkali and I just, it really is a kick to it. He walks out of the kitchen, I look at Alkali, I go, I'm pretty sure he touched the fence. He goes, oh yeah, he totally touched the fence.
If I remember correctly, we then started singing Don't Whiz on the Electric Fence for the entire weekend.
Of course.
To be fair, they legally can't have them shock you at a lethal level, so you can totally squeeze an electric fence.
You have the weirdest knowledge in trivia.
It's more like a life experience.
So,
I didn't know it was electric and I was late for school.
did you try to jump an electric fence?
I successfully halfway jumped an electric fence and then I tumbled down the other half. Down a hill. It was great. I ripped my backpack and it just kept going and I'm like, well, all right, okay. And I was falling long enough to where I realized that I had been falling and I was like, come on, seriously? The hill is not this big. And I was just like, blah, 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 blah. And I get to the bottom and then I see my trail of like my homework and stuff and I was like, no, I'm just gonna tell them this happened.
You have a very strange definition of success.
I keep the bar really low.
He got over the fence and
Okay.
off his fucking back.
That's right.
That's true. Oh, Jesus. I got nothing. Holy shit. Alkali? Anything?
Oh, well, nope.
So, the electric fence at Nero.
Oh, God. Why are there so many stories?
We had one campsite, we do not use it anymore, at a very specific part, at the top of a hill. There was and all of us knew about the electric fence. We didn't even do modules. Module is a adventure. You go out there, you do the thing, and you come back. So this time, we needed a new location. We went up there, and our newest plot member, his name was John. John was a little bit shorter than me and weighed close to 400 pounds. Nicest guy you will ever meet. And he decides that this 6'5", 400-pound man was going to play a rogue and hide in the brush.
I don't know.
I'll fix it.
Music coming from God.
I'll fix it.
Oh, this was my song. Well, remember how I told you this was at the top of a hill? He backed up into the brush, brushed his ass against the electric fence, jumped out of the brush at the moment the module began, went across the path, and started rolling down the what we called cliff, but he called Hurt Hill. And this 400-pound friend of mine is going ass over tail, just ba-boom, 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 and finally, bam, lands at the bottom. And all of us concerned Nero players are dead silent, looking down at his unmoving body. And the first thing that we hear that proves there's still life is, I landed on my keys. That module did not have a rogue on it. They killed him with lightning. And keys.
And keys. Oh, man. Benjamin Franklin's half right.
We could have saved so many elephants.
Right. All right. I don't know. We got so much more time now. We're finished with questions. Hooray!
Hooray! We did it.
Refresh, I just updated, I just boosted the subscription.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. I'll check it out.
Oh, did you send a question to us?
Oh, yeah. I will check
Oh,
it out. I
yeah.
was
Just
looking
yell it at us
screenshots.
right now. What's
Yeah,
your
that
question?
works.
Not counting last night's Who's Lion, what's the worst thing you've ever heard at a con panel?
I am literally not allowed to talk about that, but I can tell you the third worst thing. No, we've heard some crap. Things have happened. Here's the thing about bad things that happen at cons. Sometimes the stories of what happens when they work out really well, they are funny, but they're not funny in that moment. It's very rarely funny in that moment.
The second is we can't tell you what that means.
God damn it.
But still my favorite. It happens to be my favorite. It's also one of the shortest things that ever happened. It was year one of First Square. My director of operations at 10 p.m. decided that it was time for him to go have some fun, and that's a wonderful thing. I loved that my staff and my board could have a chance to have fun at their own con. So we're standing in a long hallway. There's a bunch of furries hanging out, and so are all the other people from all the other groups staying at the hotel. So we have the cheerleaders, we have the youth lacrosse team, and they're all hanging out, and it's wonderful, and they're all playing with the furries. And then my director of operations and his two friends, wearing leather dog masks, leather pants, and not much else, come walking down the hallway on their way to a panel located in the basement. And I'm standing there, and the woman standing next to me reaches out and puts her hands on the shoulders of her two young children who are looking at my friends with a very confused smirk and said the following line: "No, no, hun, don't touch those doggies, they're dirty." A lesser convention would take that as a slight. Not fair squared. To this day, our pup panel is called "Don't Touch Those Dogs, They're Dirty."
And I just love, like, we had all the whole discussion online of like, oh, is this okay or not in public? And then it was on the singing show. What the hell was it? And like, oh, capitalism has determined puphoods are okay. We can have them on NBC in prime time.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever, The Masked Singer or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I told you guys earlier, one thing you never want to do, if somebody is doing something to get a laugh, and then you really come down on them, it's never going to work. They're going to want to do it more. And that was never, I actually forgot where I was going with this crap. I had something and I'm totally blanking right now because we haven't slept in 2 days.
Boozy, relay, go.
Oh, the worst thing I ever heard at panel or con?
Oh boy. Con, yes.
At a con, it would be a dear friend of mine who is a con chair of a con that I'm not going to talk about, who walked up to me on the last day of his convention as he's going to do the debrief with the hotel, or no, day after last day, going to do the debrief with the hotel, and says, "I have a question for you." And I said, "Yes." He said, "We have an attendee who every year for the past 4 years has had an accident in one of the lobby chairs. The person was incontinent and had a problem with their balance. He had a picture of it, and it was just a small brown streak up the back of the chair." He says, "This has been every year for 4 years. This is going to be the 5th year in a row that we have had to talk to the hotel about this. Do you have any suggestions?" And I looked at him and said, "Yeah, tell them to buy brown chairs."
I hate you.
Hey, that's smart.
The hotel bought brown chairs.
It's classy.
It is legitimately funny going into a new venue, and when you do this, you know, you have your board who are looking around like, "Ah, yes, this will be a good hangout area," and this panel space is great. But I'm like pseudo-legal for cons. He's real legal. I'm pseudo-legal. So all of my thoughts involved, they're going to bring that and that and that and that. Oh, get rid of that shit. That's a door. Just get rid of that door. That will not work on them.
This gentleman helped choose the location for Basement Con. You know what he chose? Because I want you to know how much bullshit that is. He chose a lodge that had weapons hanging on the walls. Actually, there were real axes just hanging on the wall. And not like behind glass, just like there. Like, somebody's like, "Yeah, Boozy, do you want me to bring the axe over?" I'm like, "What axe?" They're going the one by the stairs.
Dude, you always need to stare with the axe. And excuse me, what's the mission statement for Basement Con?
We are the worst furry convention ever.
Nailed it!
He somehow got a normie who wandered in unexpectedly. We were in the middle of nowhere on Sunday morning eating breakfast. I'm not saying that, I mean, you had to drive out of your way to get there. We're sitting there, we're eating breakfast. A blonde woman pulls up in a Cadillac SUV, gets out wearing designer clothing, walks inside, starts looking around. We have rented out an entire lot. There is nobody else there. She says, could one of you show me around? I'm like, well, no, man. Well, I want to speak to the owner. Well, he's not here. Well, could one of you show me the bedrooms? No. She turns around, walks out, climbs in the Cadillac, drives off down the dirt road into the wilderness. I'm sitting there, we're quiet, we're somewhat in shock. Because the wild Karen likes Sasquatch up here in the woods. Which shows that no matter where your furry conviction may be, a Karen will show up and say, what's happening here?
I believe we have one more story. You had one, Chris?
Yeah, I do have one con story. This is actually a brony convention. It's not that one. It's at that same convention though. That convention, later on in the night, there were at the convention known as Canterlot Gardens, which ran exactly 1 year before it was shut down. After only 1 year of existing in the, after Brony's only existing for 1 year, so really no one knew what the hell they were doing about anything.
Sweet.
And it was great. So the night gets a little bit long in the tooth, and I go down to the lobby to get something out of my car, and I see one of my friends who is just hanging with a bunch of these dudes, and one of them's just rapping in the lobby, full on rap performance in the lobby, and it's rapping, yes, Boozy, rapping.
I thought you said something else.
I know what I know. And anyways. So I'm just all right, I'll watch this. And then as the rapping goes on, a person with wild eyes comes into the lobby and has a knife. And she starts going off about how she is going to cut this rapper left and right and every other direction. And I'm like, wow, this is really crazy. I just wanted to get soda from my car. Now this is going on. And then I'm like, let's not commit a murder, please. And she's like, I don't give a shit. That little blah, 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 a lot of not PG-13 things going off on this guy. And this dude's like, yo, what up? I don't give a shit. I'm a fucking hardcore rapper. Ain't nothing messing with me. And I'm like, wow, this is so weird and hood rap. And I'm sitting there holding each other back. And then she's like, I'll cut you too, you fat piece of shit. I'll cut you neck to nuts. And really just going off. And she finally sees that I'm wearing a Fluttershy shirt. And the entire moment is diffused so she can go, oh, that's a really cute Fluttershy shirt. Where'd you get it?
See, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Wow, friendship is this.
It really is.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to do one more thing before we go. We do this every once in a while. We are going to turn off the cameras and everything. If you would want to stick around for another minute, we're going to give you a charity story. The reason we made sure that this year we're doing it, if you were not at opening ceremonies, there is an anonymous donor at this convention, and they are matching every donation that is made this weekend. So for every $1 donated, the Chicago No-Kill Shelter will be getting $2. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go, thank you so much for your generosity. If you can give, and if you can't, do not worry about it. We are furries. These animals are going to be fine. So without further ado, let's give it up for our girls, Boozy Badger! Chris the Comedy Bunny! Ladies and gentlemen, the creator of the Dragon Show, my mate, and the person I love more than anyone or anything else in this world. Guys, give a huge round of applause for Xander the Blue.